no frustrations for our Ben Johnson as we welcome you back to Game Day Recap. Haley Sutton alongside Damian Harris, Rand Carthan, and our guy, Pete Prisco. Where do we want to start, guys? We want to talk positives with the Bears, negatives with the Raiders. Pete, I'll give you first word. Which way you're taking it?
Well, Geno was a negative today. I mean, he threw 3 interceptions. He's throwing way too many. He's throwing way too many interceptions. Geno Smith needs to be better. And we saw the running game get going with Genty. He did a lot of really good things, showed why he was such a high draft pick, going to be a special running back.
Every once in a while, a game comes along that demands you lean in, that forces you to feel the electricity crackle. And Sunday in Las Vegas was that kind of fight. The Chicago Bears, with their record now 2-2, found a way to snatch a victory in the most dramatic fashion imaginable. A late touchdown, a blocked field goal, 4 turnovers forced, and a defense refusing to be outworked. This was not a perfect performance, but it was a performance of heart, of guts, and of resolve. Let me take you through the wild ride and why this may well be a turning point in this season. Midway through the fourth quarter, it looked bleak for Chicago. The offense had sputtered, penalties and miscues had stalled drives, and the Raiders were asserting themselves on the ground. Rookie Ashton Genty, with 155 scrimmage yards and 3 total touchdowns, gave Las Vegas life. But the Bears' defense had been salting the field all day, forcing turnovers, intercepting Geno Smith, and giving Chicago opportunities. Kevin Byard III collected 2 picks in the first half. Tyreek Stevenson added another on the first play of the third quarter. That secondary, missing top corners like Jaylon Johnson and Kyler Gordon, answered the bell anyway. In that turbulence, Caleb Williams, who had not always had clean moments, executed. He threw a 27-yard touchdown to Rome Odunze after Stevenson's interception, flipping the field. Odunze, by the way, now stands alone as the only receiver in the NFL to score a touchdown in each of the first 4 weeks. But the Raiders retaliated, marching 80 yards in 10 plays to take back the lead. The drive ended with a short Smith toss to Genty. As the clock wound down, penalties and dropped balls haunted Chicago. An early fourth quarter miscue, a snap that sailed past Williams, led to an ugly loss and forced the Bears to settle for a 51-yard field goal instead of pressing for more. Genty was a nightmare in the run game. 21 carries for 138 yards and a touchdown, plus catching 2 more scores. And the Raiders posted 240 rushing yards total. But here is where legends are born. With 134 remaining, DeAndre Swift took a handoff, crashed in for a 2-yard touchdown, giving Chicago the lead yet again. That marked the 4th lead change of the game. The Raiders returned the ensuing kickoff 38 yards to set up a 54-yard field goal attempt with 33 seconds left. And then came Chicago's final, heroic stand. Josh Blackwell, coming off the edge, blocked Daniel Carlson's kick. Game over. Bears win 25-24. Let me pause there. This is the kind of moment that defines seasons, that builds identity. Not because everything was smooth, but because in the mess, the Bears found moments to seize. Blackwell's block was Chicago's first blocked field goal since 2022. Swift's run and his performance in that drive rewrote the narrative of his day. Williams, under constant pressure, made the plays that mattered. Odunze continues to be a bright spot, the kind of receiver this franchise needs. The defense, battered by the run game, still forced 4 turnovers. Still, this was far from perfect. The offensive line showed cracks, especially in Wright's absence and with Theo Benedict thrown into harsh matchups. Cole Kmet had drops and false starts that stalled drives. The penalties were excessive, 8 for 60 yards, and those kills in key moments nearly cost them. Genty averaging nearly 8 yards per carry was a statement, a warning. The Bears can't live in desperation mode every week. But here is the key. They found a way. They refused to yield. They leaned on veterans like Byard, role players like Blackwell, their rising stars like Odunze, and a quarterback who in that moment showed why they chose him. They did not blink. Looking broader, Chicago enters their bye week holding firm, 2-4. The offseason investments, adding strength to the trenches, reinforcing protection for Williams, beefing up depth, are starting to show tangible payoff. The front office, the coaching staff, the roster, they put themselves in a place to compete, but the season is long, consistency must follow this kind of game. Compared to earlier weeks, the Bears now have a statement road win. They proved they can win ugly, but they also proved they can win when it matters most. So here's where I land. This win does more than lift the record. It lights a spark. It bolsters belief in the locker room, in the fan base, in the vision of this team. Yes, holes remain. Yes, improvements are needed. But this is momentum earned under fire, and it demands you believe the Bears are a different breed now. If you feel that energy, if your heart roared watching that final block and that game-winning touchdown, tell me, what's your moment of the game? Who surprised you? Drop your take in the comments, smash that like button if this one gave you chills, and make sure you're subscribed to Bear Down Report so you never miss a moment of this ride.